What's the deal, y'all? Thank you for joining FreeRPeople to list backwards because people are free. Today, I'm not here to force your mind, but I'm here to free it. I'm here to open your mind to rethinking what you were taught your entire life and what we commonly accept and don't truly think about. Today's talk is going to be about equality of men and women and how we are, in fact, equal. Let's get straight into it. So I'm going to be splitting this into two categories, biological reasoning and social reasoning. To start, the biological reasoning is that we are all born quite literally the same. And what I mean by that is at full term, a baby on average weighs 5 to 8 pounds. That is not determined or specified by gender. You'll see a lot of times that there are overweight babies closer to the 8-pound range, and that can be for a woman baby or a man baby. And there are also underweight babies who go closer to 5 pounds, and that can also happen with man or woman babies. In addition, we are not born, a lot of times people will say, well, men are automatically stronger than women, or women are automatically more emotional than men. Like I say, you were not born this way. Those are things that you are taught or that you learn as you grow. When you are a baby, babies don't even start to develop enough strength to lift their own head until 3 to 4 months. And once again, that does not matter if you are a man or a female baby. The baby starts the same because it comes out the same. Stay woke. These are things that are common sense, Occam's razor, but we've been so perverted and brainwashed that we've started to just accept and trust our best interest, what we've been taught our whole life, like I said at the beginning of every video. So in addition to that, if you look at, and I'm going to show the picture, the first 3 weeks of baby developing, we start with the exact same body parts. And it isn't until month 3 or 4 that we start to diverge, meaning the man develops, one genitalia and the woman develops the other. But that alone should show you and tell you that at the core, we are equal. We were born and made the same. It wasn't until life and social constructs, which I'm going to start getting into with the social reasoning, that divided us and is put here to divide us so that we're not building on each other's weaknesses. We're not building on each other's strengths. We're just attacking and tearing each other down for it, creating stereotypes, creating and repeating cycles and curses that last generations to follow. So like I said in my other video, the best way for the people to run the world to conquer is to divide us from the day we are born. This goes back historically in the systematic perceptions of sex. So what I mean by that is, historically and systematically, we have divided each other from the beginning. We say, pink is for girls or blue is for boys. And a real fact about that in colors is that pink actually started as the male color, and then women's was blue because it represented cool, calm, collect, synonymous to blue, like water. Pink, vibrant, independent, just the same qualities as a man, they say a man would have. Shows you right there. But let's just say, like, these small little social constructs like that, very harmful, because let's put this into a different context. Let's say only left-handed people could wear blue, or it was only normal for left-handed people to like blue. And right-handed people could only like and wear pink. And if they did start to wear blue, they would be looked at funny or be looked at different. You see how kind of crazy that sounds? Because that was something you were born with. You didn't have a choice of whether you were left-handed or right-handed. You just kind of discovered that as you were older. Same with sex. You don't get to choose that while in the womb. That's something you are born with. So your preferences come to you as you're older. You start to learn and pick up on things that you desire as you get older. Food for thought. So like I was starting to say previously, with social reasoning and the social constructs behind this being systematic, it's all to further divide us. And it's all, if you think of it like patriarchy, it's a power move so that we can have power over one another. Same such as money. When you are a different sex, or we use our sex to try to have power over one another. Oh, I'm stronger than you, or I'm more emotional than you. Oh, as men, we cheat less, or as women, we do this less, we lie less. You're creating a bigger divide and wedge, and you're also kind of preventing that person or that community from being able to change. Once you start setting these stereotypes or setting these generalizations in play, it becomes harder and harder to navigate them and break them. And then you start to put all of those people into one box. So then when you do finally meet one that's different, you sabotage it quite literally, either with your own biases, generalizations, or, they just no longer want you themselves. So once again, like I said, it's the same ideology and power move, inferior, superior, that they use with race, with sexual orientation. Gender and sex is no different. You know, you use that, oh, as a man I'm more superior, or as a woman I'm more superior, or you're my inferior. That is a patriarchal ideology to put us in different categories and divide us amongst that. I always bring up animals as an analogy because I feel like that's, as humans, we are the only ones, as far as all of the animals, born with a consciousness, meaning the power of choice. So we should be the ones more peaceful and better off. With animals, like I say, they don't look at each other and be like, oh yeah, that's for sure a woman. We don't even look at animals and say, oh yeah, that's for sure a woman squirrel, that's for sure a man squirrel, unless you kind of quite literally study those things. You're not able to tell. Men and women squirrels, or any type of animals, they work together. They don't work apart. They don't say, oh, you're not strong enough to do this, or you're not emotional enough to do this, you can't do this. They'll quite literally probably teach one another, something that we should be doing instead of tearing each other down, like I said. And then once again, we've already seen, you see every day that people break these generalizations. Men have proven to be amazing cooks, therapists, intuitive beings. Women, same thing. They're proven to be massive bodybuilders, to be logical, to be independent beings. We see this all the time. We see these generalizations being broken, and yet we choose to still remain ignorant, which is not good for anybody. Even with gender roles in themselves, they do more harm than good. You know, we see men walk around a lot of times with mental issues because they're carrying all the weight, or they feel like they have to when they do not. Women are put here, and you see this, like I said, once again, single ran homes, mothers running homes by themselves. They're more than capable of providing. We need to be equal about this. This is also not the economy to be worrying about gender roles. You know, everybody's working like a slave nowadays. Everybody is working just to live. So, you know, use empathy more than anything. We, before men and women, we are people. We are human beings. So we're put here to help each other, to connect, to build one another up, not to divide or to tear each other apart based on our differences, or what we think is a difference, or what we think makes us inferior or superior to one another. And if you are religious or you believe in God, what type of God would God be to sit there and put two of the same things that are made in God's image and make one above the other? God's image does not change based on sex. God isn't even man or woman. So that's why a lot of times you won't hear me say Father or Father God, because a deity cannot be a man or woman. And that, I feel like, is why God put a man and woman here, so that it is God's image and proof and living proof that we are both equally pieces of God, and we both equally powerfully possessed the strength, mindfulness, the soundness, the love of God, because we are God's people. So we're going to start getting into femininity and masculinity. That's something that is a social construct. When I say social construct, these are things that humans created so that we can attempt to better understand the world around us, or how it operates. Masculinity and femininity, we need to look up the semantics of the word. It is not tied to man or woman. And I would even argue that there is no such thing as a manly or womanly traits, because if you break it down, the semantics, just think about it. What type of person wouldn't want to have some type of independence? What type of person wouldn't want to be able to provide, or have healing properties, or have nurturing properties? That's the very thing. A balanced, healthy person would possess both feminine and masculine traits, i.e., in simplest terms, a person should want to be both independent and also have the capacity to nurture others. A person should want to be logical, but also have the emotional capacity to relate and to empathize and to have sensitivities. These are things we should want both sexes to have and embody and endure equally, and at a balanced rate. So once again, y'all, we got to stay woke. We got to stay mindful to these things and use critical thinking. And focus on what is love, what is honest, what is justice, what is good, what is wholesome, because that is what God embodies. And that's just about it, y'all. Real quick, as far as I thought, and thorough. So if you like what you heard today, make sure you comment, like, share, subscribe, comment things you don't know about, you want to see me talk about, you're scared to talk about. And like always, y'all, stay blessed.